But the good news is that being reactive, being the reactive people that we are, means that we are also susceptible to tiny tweaks. And to vastly oversimplify the entire field of behavioral economics to a degree that my colleagues would be horrified, it comes down basically to two things. It comes down to difficulty and desire. And this is not new to you if I say that people are more likely to do things that are easy and fun and less likely to do things that are hard and unpleasant. However, what most of us fail to take into account is that the force of difficulty is much more powerful than the force of desire. And the tweaks that I showed you before, I'll explain, are a result of this process. If you think, for example, of companies that have not just outperformed the competition, but they're wiping out entire industries, disrupting entire industries. For the most part, it's not because they're offering more value or lower prices. They are making it easier to do business with them. Take Amazon and Uber as two examples. Amazon makes it so much harder to shop at a brick and mortar store and so easy to shop online because they give you one-click shopping. They make it so easy to return an item. If you want to read a book, you can read it instantaneously. They'll even give you a sample like you were browsing in a bookstore. And they make it less painful to pay because you pay for your shipping. If you're a Prime member, you pay once a year, and then the rest of the year's shipping is free. For Uber, they make it so easy to get a ride. All you need is a phone. You don't even need your wallet. You get a ride. There's no transaction cost. There's no pain of paying. They make it less painful. You don't even know mostly how much it costs for the ride, right? It's just like a friend is picking you up and dropping you off. It's so easy that not only are they wiping out the taxi industry in many cities, but a lot of people are selling their cars because it's easier to have Uber than to drive your own car. You can also use this system to discourage behaviors that you don't want. The City of London wanted people to take public transportation, and they wanted to discourage people from driving their cars so much. So they just made it harder to drive by extending the red lights. In the City of London, you have to wait longer at a red light, and they desynchronized the red lights so that it's more difficult to drive, it's less pleasant to drive your car through central London, and they increased the rates of public transportation. The organ donation tweak that I mentioned to you, all it was, the only difference, is which countries had an opt-in organ donation system, so it's easier to donate than not donate, and which countries had an opt-out enrollment system, so it's easier not to be an organ donor than to be an organ donor. In the retirement plan that I mentioned to you, all they changed is they started with auto-enrollment, so again, it's opt-out, so it's easier to save for retirement than not save for retirement. And they made it easier to increase savings rates. So they started at a low savings rate that was acceptable to lots of people, and then instead of asking you to contribute more, you're not even making a decision in the future, but they say, hey, how about if you increase your contributions more in the future only when you get a raise? So they reduced the pain. So employees are still making more money and bringing home more money all the time, and at the same time, they're quadrupling their retirement savings. Plans like this extend for 15 years on average the number of years that employees can pay for themselves in retirement. In the simple Google example that I mentioned, the only difference between people that are snacking a lot and people that are snacking a little is where they're getting their beverage. So people who are coming into the kitchen to grab a coffee, if the snacks are right there, they grab a snack. If the snack is across the room, they can't mindlessly grab a snack. They actually have to think about it before walking over. They weigh more. They eat more if the snacks are right there. It's just harder to grab a snack. So Google is changing the design for all of the micro kitchen for all of the employees in all of their new facilities. And you know Google is growing like wildfire. And additionally, the architectural firm that designs eating in kitchen spaces has changed the way they're designing eating in kitchen spaces for all of their clients. And this is a simple thing that you can do if you wanted to snack less, is just separate the drinks and snacks. None of this is rocket science.